Hosting mega sporting events like the FIFA World Cup, the Olympics, and the Super Bowl is often considered a dream come true for cities and countries, showcasing their culture, economy, and ability to manage large-scale international events. However, the question remains, who truly profits from these events? Are they beneficial for the host countries and cities in the long run, or do the promises of economic growth and legacy tend to fall short of reality? Love what you're watching? Scan the QR to join the community. Mega sporting events are celebrated spectacles that draw in billions of dollars in revenue, attracting tourists, media, and sponsorship deals. These events are marketed as opportunities to boost the local economy, enhance global recognition, and improve infrastructure. In theory, they create jobs, stimulate local businesses, and provide long-term benefits by leaving behind an enhanced infrastructure for future generations. However, the truth behind the economics of hosting these events is more complex than the optimistic predictions often painted by politicians and local organizers. The economic benefits promised by mega events often center around tourism, the creation of temporary jobs, infrastructure improvements, and the long-term brand value of the host city or country. One of the main selling points is that these events will draw millions of visitors from around the world. The Olympics, for example, are an opportunity for cities to showcase their culture, cuisine, and landmarks. Countries and cities like London, Beijing, and Rio de Janeiro have used the Olympics as a marketing tool to improve their global image and attract international tourists. Similarly, the FIFA World Cup, hosted once every 4 years by a different country, brings a massive influx of fans who fill hotels, restaurants, and venues, generating millions of dollars in revenue for the local economy. Another key economic factor that often goes overlooked is the impact on local businesses. While large-scale events bring in significant amounts of money to the local economy, much of the revenue ends up in the hands of large corporations, event organizers, and international sponsors. Local businesses, especially small and medium-sized enterprises, are often unable to capture a large share of the economic benefits. The high cost of accommodation and the influx of wealthy international visitors can make it difficult for ordinary citizens to benefit from the event's economic activity. In some cases, the rapid rise in demand for goods and services can result in price hikes, making it difficult for residents to afford basic necessities. Despite these challenges, there are undeniable positive impacts of hosting mega sporting events. These events provide temporary employment for thousands of people in sectors such as construction, security, tourism, and hospitality. The question of who really profits from hosting mega sporting events becomes even more complex when considering the environmental and social costs. Large-scale events often come with significant environmental footprints, with the construction of new stadiums, the transportation of international visitors, and the disposal of waste all contributing to pollution and resource depletion. In some cases, the environmental impact of these events can be difficult to mitigate, especially in countries where sustainability efforts are less established. Moreover, there are significant social costs involved in hosting such events. In many cases, the displacement of local communities is a major issue. The construction of new stadiums and infrastructure projects often leads to the forced relocation of low-income families and marginalized communities. In Rio de Janeiro, for example, preparations for the 2016 Olympics led to the eviction of thousands of residents from their homes, sparking protests and social unrest. These communities, already living in poverty, were left without adequate compensation or support, highlighting the social inequality that often accompanies mega events. In conclusion, while hosting a mega sporting event can bring short-term economic benefits and increase a country's global profile, the long-term advantages are often more elusive. The costs of constructing new infrastructure, maintaining stadiums, and managing the event often outweigh the financial gains from tourism, broadcasting deals, and sponsorships. Furthermore, the economic benefits tend to be unevenly distributed, with large corporations and international sponsors reaping the majority of the rewards, while local businesses and citizens bear the brunt of the costs. In the end, the question of who profits from hosting a mega event depends on one's perspective. While there are clear economic and social gains in some areas, the true beneficiaries are often the international organizations and corporations involved in organizing and sponsoring the event. For the host city or country, the lasting legacy of these events is often less tangible, with the long-term economic and social benefits remaining uncertain. The 2008 Beijing Olympics, for instance, are often cited as an example of both the benefits and environmental costs of hosting a mega event. While the city gained global visibility and showcased its ambitious infrastructure projects, it also saw significant air pollution and resource consumption during the Games. A similar situation occurred during the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, where many of the newly constructed stadiums and facilities were criticized for being environmentally unsustainable. After the event, many of the venues faced underuse and were not adequately repurposed, leading to questions about the long-term environmental legacy of such investments. In contrast, some cities have managed to leverage their mega events to create lasting value. Barcelona's 1992 Summer Olympics are often cited as one of the most successful examples of how a city can benefit from hosting a global sporting event. Barcelona used the Olympics as a springboard to revitalize its infrastructure, improve public spaces, and promote tourism. The city invested in modernizing its airport, upgrading its public transportation systems, and transforming its waterfront areas. The long-term tourism boom that followed the Olympics helped cement Barcelona's reputation as a must-see European destination, providing ongoing economic benefits. In recent years, there has been growing awareness of the need to reconsider the economics of hosting mega events, with some cities beginning to reject bids or scale back their ambitions. For instance, the city of Boston withdrew its bid for the 2024 Summer Olympics, citing concerns about the long-term costs and the lack of public support. Similarly, the 2022 FIFA World Cup bid process saw several countries express concerns about the financial and social costs of hosting the event, with smaller countries like Qatar facing significant challenges to justify the enormous investments required. Increasingly, host cities are being asked to consider alternatives to the traditional model of mega event hosting. Smaller-scale events, such as regional tournaments or international cultural festivals, can offer many of the benefits without the same level of risk. These events can provide significant economic and cultural advantages while avoiding the massive costs and potential for post-event disappointment that come with hosting a global spectacle. Moreover, the rise of virtual sports and digital engagement may change the future of global sporting events. In conclusion, the economics of hosting mega sporting events is far from simple. While these events bring short-term benefits, including tourism, temporary employment, and international recognition, the long-term impact often falls short of expectations. The costs associated with construction, infrastructure, and maintenance can burden local governments for years, leaving cities with the responsibility of maintaining large venues that are used only intermittently. Moreover, the promised legacy of increased tourism and economic growth is often overstated, as many of the venues built for these events fail to generate sustainable revenue. The question of who truly profits from these events remains complex. While large corporations, international sporting bodies, and media companies often reap the bulk of the financial rewards, the host city or country must contend with the financial, social, and environmental costs. Therefore, the true value of hosting mega events should be carefully evaluated, not just in terms of immediate financial gains, but also with a long-term perspective, considering the environmental, social, and economic impacts that may last well beyond the event itself. Ultimately, the economics of hosting mega sporting events demand a delicate balance between ambition, investment, and sustainability, with a focus on ensuring that the benefits extend beyond the event itself to create lasting value for the host city and its citizens. Scan the QR to join the community for more.